a fresh start goes wrong. Jade Morrison stood outside the glass tower that housed Castellano Architecture Group, smoothing down her navy dress for the 100th time that morning. At 24, fresh from graduate school, she had somehow landed an internship at one of the most prestigious architecture firms in Chicago. This was her shot to prove herself in a field dominated by established names and old money connections. The dress had seemed perfect when she bought it last week. Professional, elegant, and just expensive enough to make her credit card whimper. What she hadn't anticipated was the faulty zipper that would soon become her worst nightmare. The elevator incident. Inside the building, Jade pressed the button for the 32nd floor, her portfolio clutched tight against her chest. The elevator was empty except for a deliveryman whistling an off-key tune. As the floors ticked upward, Jade tried to rehearse her introduction in her head. "Good morning, I'm Jade Morrison, the new architectural intern." Simple enough. She could do this. The elevator jerked slightly at floor 28, and Jade instinctively reached for the handrail. That tiny movement was all it took. She felt the zipper on the side of her dress give way with a soft ripping sound that seemed deafening in the enclosed space. Her heart stopped. The zipper had split open from her waist down to her hip, revealing a good 8 inches of the floral underwear she had thought no one would ever see. Panic flooded through her as she pressed her portfolio against her side, trying desperately to hide the wardrobe malfunction. An unexpected first impression. The elevator doors opened onto a sleek reception area decorated in minimalist whites and grays. A woman with silver hair and sharp eyes looked up from behind a curved desk. "You must be Jade Morrison." "I'm Beverly Grant, head of human resources. Welcome to Castellano Architecture." Jade forced a smile, keeping her left side angled away. "Thank you so much for this opportunity. Let me show you to your workspace," Beverly said, standing gracefully. "Mr. Castellano likes to personally greet all new team members, but he's currently in a conference call. You'll meet him shortly." As they walked through the open office space, Jade tried to keep her portfolio position just right, walking slightly sideways like an awkward crab. She could feel the fabric shifting with each step, the gap in her dress seeming to grow wider by the second. "Your desk is right here," Beverly gestured to a clean workstation near floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. "The supply closet is just down that hallway if you need anything." "Actually," Jade said quickly, "could you point me to the restroom? I'd love to freshen up before getting started." Beverly's expression shifted almost imperceptibly, her eyes dropping briefly to where Jade held her portfolio. A knowing look crossed her face. "Of course. Third door on the left. Take your time. The supply closet solution." Jade practically ran to the restroom, her face burning with embarrassment. In the mirror, the damage looked even worse than she'd imagined. The zipper had completely separated, and there was no way to fix it without needle and thread. She couldn't start her first day like this. She just couldn't. Taking a deep breath, Jade remembered Beverly mentioning a supply closet. Maybe, just maybe, there would be a safety pin or stapler or something she could use for a temporary fix. The hallway was mercifully empty as she made her way toward the supply closet. The door was slightly ajar, and she slipped inside quickly, fumbling for the light switch. The closet was larger than she expected, lined with shelves of office supplies, extra equipment, and what looked like emergency items. She began searching frantically through drawers, looking for anything useful. "Can I help you find something?" Jade spun around so fast she knocked over a box of paper clips. A man stood in the doorway, and her breath caught in her throat. He was tall, probably 6'2", with dark hair that looked professionally styled but slightly tousled, as if he'd been running his hands through it. His charcoal suit fit him perfectly, and his eyes were an unusual shade of gray-green that seemed to see right through her fumbling excuse. "I'm so sorry," Jade stammered, still clutching her portfolio against her side. "I was just looking for a safety pin." "Roman Castellano." The man's eyebrow lifted slightly. A safety pin? On your first day? Oh no. He knew who she was. Which meant he was probably someone important. Possibly very important. There was a small wardrobe issue, Jade said, her face feeling hot enough to ignite. Nothing serious. Just a minor zipper situation that I'm handling very professionally. She was babbling. She needed to stop babbling. A smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. A zipper situation. I see. He stepped into the closet, and Jade caught the scent of cedar and something citrusy. He reached past her to a small plastic container on a high shelf, pulling it down to reveal a mini sewing kit. We keep these for emergencies, he explained, handing it to her. Conference calls sometimes require quick fixes. Beverly's idea. Very practical woman. Thank you so much, Jade said, accepting the kit with her free hand while still protecting her side. I really appreciate this. I promise I'm not usually this chaotic. This is actually a terrible first impression, and I'm mortified, and I should probably stop talking now. The man's smile grew. Actually, I find honesty refreshing. Most people spend their first day trying to project an image of flawless perfection. He extended his hand. Roman Castellano. I own the firm. Jade's stomach dropped somewhere near her knees. Of course. Of course, this was Roman Castellano, the brilliant architect whose innovative designs had revolutionized sustainable urban planning. The man whose TED Talk she had watched 17 times. The CEO she was supposed to impress with her professionalism and competence. And here she was, hiding a broken zipper in a supply closet. An unlikely connection. I'm Jade Morrison, she managed, shaking his hand awkwardly while still maintaining her protective stance. The new intern. Who is currently having the worst first day in recorded history. I don't know about that, Roman said thoughtfully. I once spilled an entire pot of coffee on a client during a pitch meeting. Lost the contract and needed 3 shirts to clean up. Your zipper incident seems relatively contained by comparison. The story was so unexpected, so human, that Jade felt some of her panic ease. Did you really? Scout's honor, he said, though his eyes sparkled with humor. Beverly witnessed the whole disaster. She's never let me forget it. There was something in the way he looked at her, a warmth that went beyond professional courtesy. For a moment, standing in that supply closet with her broken zipper and his borrowed sewing kit, Jade forgot to be embarrassed. Why don't you take a few minutes to fix your dress, Roman suggested, his voice gentle. My office is right across from here. When you're ready, come find me. We'll do a proper introduction where you're not worried about wardrobe malfunctions. Thank you, Mr. Castellano. Roman, he corrected. And Jade? Everyone has difficult first days. What matters is what you do next. The repair. After he left, Jade worked quickly with the sewing kit, creating a temporary fix that would hold until she could get home. Her hands shook slightly as she threaded the needle, and she couldn't tell if it was from lingering embarrassment or something else entirely. Roman Castellano had been nothing like she expected. The articles portrayed him as brilliant but distant, a perfectionist who demanded excellence from everyone around him. But the man she'd just met had been kind, even funny, sharing his own embarrassing story to ease her discomfort. When she finally emerged from the supply closet, her dress securely repaired, Beverly was waiting nearby with a knowing smile. Better? The older woman asked. Much better. Thank you. Roman asked me to tell you he's ready when you are, Beverly said. And Jade? Don't worry too much about first impressions. Sometimes the most memorable ones are the messy ones. As Jade walked toward Roman's office, her portfolio no longer serving as a shield, she had no idea that this disastrous morning would become the story they would tell for years to come. The day that everything changed. The day he finally noticed her. The door to his office was open, and through it, she could see Roman standing by the windows, looking out at the Chicago skyline. When he turned and saw her, something in his expression shifted. Something that made her heart beat just a little bit faster. "Ready for that proper introduction?" he asked. Jade smiled, stepping into the office and into the beginning of something neither of them had planned. Absolutely. The first week challenge 5 days had passed since the zipper incident, and Jade had settled into a routine at Castellano Architecture Group. She arrived early, stayed late, and absorbed every piece of information about the firm like a sponge soaking up water. The work was demanding, but she thrived on the challenge. Roman had been professional but distant since their supply closet encounter. He communicated mostly through emails and brief hallway nods. Jade told herself she was relieved. After all, she was here to build a career, not to develop a crush on her boss, but she couldn't deny the flutter in her chest every time she heard his voice in a meeting or caught a glimpse of him through his office windows. Derek Wu's territory. "Morrison, I need those renderings by noon," Derek Wu barked from across the office. Derek was the lead project manager, a sharp-dressed man in his early 30s who treated the office like his personal kingdom. From day one, he had made it clear that interns were at the bottom of the hierarchy. "I'll have them ready," Jade replied calmly, though she had at least 3 other tasks competing for her attention. Derek leaned against her desk, his cologne overpowering. "You know, most interns wash out in the first month here. The pressure gets to them. Think you can handle it? I'm still here, aren't I?" His smile didn't reach his eyes. "We'll see." As he walked away, Beverly appeared at Jade's desk with a knowing look. "Don't let Derek intimidate you. He was an intern once too, though he seems to have forgotten that." "I can handle him," Jade said with more confidence than she felt. "I believe you can," Beverly replied. "By the way, there's a staff meeting in Conference Room A at 2 o'clock. Make sure you attend." Roman specifically requested that all team members be present. The emergency project. The conference room was packed when Jade arrived. She slid into a seat near the back, notebook ready. Roman stood at the front, looking more stressed than she had seen him before. "Thank you all for coming on short notice," he began. "We have a situation. The Greenway Plaza project, our biggest contract this year, has hit a major snag. The client just informed us that the city has changed the zoning requirements. We have 48 hours to redesign the entire ground floor layout, or we lose the contract." A collective groan filled the room. "48 hours is impossible," Derek protested. "We'd need to recalculate load distribution, redesign the commercial spaces, and get new permits approved. It can't be done." "It has to be done," Roman said firmly. "This contract represents 30% of our annual revenue. Losing it would mean layoffs. I need everyone's best ideas, and I need them fast." For the next hour, the team threw out suggestions, each one getting shot down for various technical or regulatory reasons. Jade listened carefully, her mind working through the problem from every angle. She had an idea. A good one. But she was just an intern. Who would listen to her? Speaking up. "What if we went vertical instead of horizontal?" The words left her mouth before she could stop them. The room fell silent, and every head turned toward her. Jade felt her face flush, but she forced herself to continue. "The new zoning restricts ground-level commercial space, right? But it doesn't limit vertical integration. If we redesign the ground floor as a mixed-use atrium with commercial spaces on a mezzanine level, we could actually increase the usable square footage while staying within the new requirements." Derek laughed dismissively. "That's ridiculous. The structural changes alone would be massive." "Not if we use the existing support columns," Jade countered, warming to her topic. "The original design has reinforced pillars every 20 feet. We could build around those, creating a double-height space that feels open while maximizing commercial rental potential. The client gets more rentable space, the city gets compliance, and we save the contract." Roman had moved closer, his eyes fixed on her with an intensity that made her stomach flip. "Show me." Jade stood on shaky legs and walked to the whiteboard. With quick, confident strokes, she sketched out her vision. The room stayed silent as her drawing took shape, showing how the redesigned space would work. The atrium could feature living walls for sustainability points, she continued, her nervousness fading as she focused on the design. And the mezzanine level could be accessed by floating stairs here and here, creating visual interest while maintaining the open feel the client originally wanted. When she finished, she turned to find Roman studying her sketch with an expression she couldn't quite read. "This could work," he said slowly. "This could actually work." He looked up at the team. "Derek, I want you and Jade to develop this concept. Full renderings by tomorrow morning." Derek's face darkened. "With all due respect, I don't need an intern on this project." "With all due respect," Roman's voice was steel, "this intern just saved our biggest contract. She's on the project. Make it happen." Late-night collaboration. By 8 o'clock that evening, most of the office had cleared out. Jade sat at her computer, working through the technical drawings while Derek made pointed comments from across the room about inexperienced designers who don't understand real-world constraints. She ignored him, focusing on getting every detail right. Around 9, Roman's office door opened. He had loosened his tie and rolled up his sleeves, looking more human than CEO. "How's it going?" he asked, approaching Jade's desk. "Almost done with the structural overlay," she replied, not looking up from her screen. "Just need to finalize the HVAC routing for the mezzanine." Roman pulled up a chair beside her, close enough that she could feel the warmth radiating from him. "May I?" He gestured to her mouse, and she nodded. For the next 20 minutes, they worked side by side, Roman's architectural expertise complementing Jade's fresh perspective. Their communication was effortless, each understanding what the other needed with minimal words. Derek had long since left, muttering about coming back in the morning. A moment of connection. "You have real talent," Roman said quietly as they finalized the last rendering. "That idea in the meeting today, that wasn't luck. That was genuine innovative thinking." Jade felt her cheeks warm. "I just saw the problem from a different angle." "That's what makes a great architect," he replied, turning to face her. "The ability to see possibilities where others see obstacles." Their eyes met, and something electric passed between them. Roman was close enough that she could see the flecks of gold in his gray-green eyes, could count the faint lines at their corners that appeared when he smiled. "Jade," he said, her name sounding different in his voice. Softer. More personal. "Yes? I want you to know that your work today had nothing to do with what happened in the supply closet last week. You earned this opportunity through your skill and creativity." "I know," she said, surprised to realize she meant it. "But thank you for saying it anyway." Roman smiled, that rare, genuine smile she had seen only once before. "We should celebrate. The coffee shop on the corner stays open late." "My treat." It was just coffee between colleagues, Jade told herself. Nothing more. But as they rode the elevator down together, standing closer than necessary in the empty car, she knew she was lying to herself. The coffee shop confession. The little cafe was nearly deserted at this hour. They claimed a corner table, and Roman returned with 2 cappuccinos and a slice of chocolate cake with 2 forks. "I figured we both earned some sugar," he said, setting the plate between them. They talked for an hour about architecture, about design philosophy, about the projects that inspired them. Roman told her about the low-income housing development he was planning, his passion for sustainable design evident in every word. "Most people see architecture as just buildings," he said, gesturing with his coffee cup. "But it's about creating spaces where life happens. Where families grow, where communities form. That's what matters." "That's why I wanted to work here," Jade admitted. "Your Riverside Community Center project, the way you integrated green space with affordable housing, it changed how I think about urban design." Roman looked at her with something that went beyond professional appreciation. "You really mean that?" "Every word." He reached across the table, his hand covering hers. The touch sent electricity through her entire body. "Jade, I need to be honest with you. What's happening between us, it's complicated. You work for me. People will talk. It could affect your career." "I know," she whispered. "But I can't seem to stop thinking about you anyway." Roman's thumb traced circles on the back of her hand. "I haven't been able to stop thinking about you since you walked into that supply closet looking terrified and determined all at once." The decision. They sat in silence for a moment, the weight of the situation settling around them. Then Roman spoke again, his voice heavy with regret. "We should wait. You're just starting your career here. If people found out we were seeing each other, they would say you only got ahead because of our relationship. Everything you achieve would be questioned." Jade pulled her hand back, her chest tight. "So what, we just pretend this doesn't exist? Just for a while. Until you've established yourself independently. 6 months, maybe a year. Then no one could question your abilities or accomplishments." It made sense. It was the smart, professional thing to do. But it hurt anyway. "Okay," Jade said finally. "We'll wait." But as they walked back to the office to collect their things, both of them knew that some things couldn't be scheduled or planned. Some things refused to wait for the right time. The article. The Greenway Plaza redesign was a massive success. The client loved it, the city approved it, and Castellano Architecture Group was back on track. 2 weeks later, Camille Ross published an article in Design Quarterly magazine titled, "Fresh Vision: How Young Architects Are Reshaping Urban Landscapes." Jade's photo was prominently featured, along with a detailed description of her innovative solution for Greenway Plaza. The article was complimentary, professional, and it should have made Jade proud. Instead, it made her stomach sink. Because at the end, almost as an afterthought, Camille had written, "Morrison's meteoric rise at Castellano Architecture Group has raised eyebrows in the industry. Some wonder if her close working relationship with CEO Roman Castellano has influenced her rapid advancement." Derek was the first to leave a printed copy on her desk, highlighted in yellow. Facing the whispers. The office atmosphere changed overnight. People who had been friendly became distant. Conversations stopped when she entered break rooms. Derek openly questioned her ideas in meetings. Beverly found Jade in the supply closet during lunch, the irony not lost on either of them. Jade was crying, angry tears that she couldn't seem to stop. "They think I slept my way to recognition," Jade said bitterly. "My work doesn't matter. Just who they think I'm sleeping with." "And are you?" Beverly asked gently. "Sleeping with Roman?" "No. We've had coffee once. That's it. We agreed to wait, to keep things professional." Jade wiped her eyes. "Not that it matters. People have already decided." Beverly handed her a tissue. "Here's what matters. That redesign was brilliant. You saved this company millions. The only opinions that should matter are yours and Roman's. But what if they're right? What if I am getting opportunities because he likes me? Do you believe that?" Jade thought about the late nights perfecting designs, the research she'd done on her own time, the ideas that flowed from her genuine passion for architecture. "No," she said firmly. "I earned this." "Then act like it," Beverly said. "Hold your head high. Do exceptional work. And if you and Roman want to be together, that's between you two adults. Not the office gossip mill." Roman's office. That evening, Jade knocked on Roman's door. He looked up from his computer, his face brightening before clouding with concern. "I saw the article," he said. "Jade, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, she said, closing the door behind her. I'm done hiding. I'm done caring what people think. Roman stood, crossing to her. What are you saying? I'm saying that we were wrong to wait. Life doesn't work on convenient schedules. I have feelings for you, Roman. Real feelings. And I'm tired of pretending I don't. If we do this, people will talk, he warned. They'll say terrible things. They'll question every achievement. Let them talk. My work will speak for itself. And if you have feelings for me too, then we owe it to ourselves to see where this goes. Roman cupped her face in his hands, his eyes searching hers. I do have feelings for you. I've been fighting them since the day you walked into that supply closet looking beautiful and terrified. But I want to protect you. I don't need protection. I need honesty. Do you want to be with me? More than anything. This time, when he kissed her, there was no holding back. It was a kiss full of everything they had been suppressing, all the longing and desire and genuine connection. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Roman rested his forehead against hers. Tomorrow, we tell everyone, he said. We make this official. No more hiding. Tomorrow, Jade agreed, smiling through happy tears, going public. Roman called an all-staff meeting for Monday morning. Jade stood beside him at the front of the conference room, her heart pounding but her spine straight. Thank you all for coming, Roman began. I want to address something directly rather than let rumors continue. Jade Morrison and I are in a personal relationship. This began recently, and I want to be transparent about it. The room erupted in whispers. Derek's face twisted with vindication. I knew it, he muttered, just loud enough to hear. Roman's voice cut through the noise. However, I want to make something absolutely clear. Jade's position here is based entirely on merit. Her innovative redesign of Greenway Plaza saved this company. Her talent is exceptional and would be recognized at any firm in this city. Easy to say when you're sleeping with her, Derek said openly now, his professional mask discarded. Jade stepped forward before Roman could respond. You're right, Derek. It is easy to dismiss my work by reducing it to my relationship. It's much harder to actually look at what I've accomplished. She pulled up a presentation on the screen. Since starting here 2 months ago, I've contributed to 5 major projects. The Greenway Plaza redesign increased projected revenue by 18%. My sustainability proposals for the Harbor District development earned us LEED Platinum certification. And my community center designs have been requested by 3 separate clients. She clicked through slides showing each project, her voice growing stronger. You can question my relationship with Roman all you want. But you cannot question the quality of my work. The numbers don't lie. The clients don't lie. The buildings I help create won't lie. The room was silent now, everyone watching her. If any of you have legitimate concerns about my work, I welcome that feedback. If you want to critique my designs, challenge my ideas, push me to be better, please do. That's how we all grow. She paused. But if you just want to gossip about my personal life, you're wasting everyone's time. Unexpected ally. After the meeting, people filtered out slowly. Some looked thoughtful, others still skeptical. But Derek remained, arms crossed. Nice speech, he said. But actions speak louder than words. Then watch my actions, Jade replied calmly. To her surprise, Beverly approached Derek. A word, Mr. Wu. My office. Now. After they left, Roman pulled Jade aside. You were incredible up there. I was terrified. It didn't show. He smiled. You're stronger than you think. 20 minutes later, Beverly emerged from her office with Derek, whose face was pale. Jade, Beverly called. Could you join us please? In Beverly's office, Derek stood stiffly. Beverly gestured for Jade to sit. "Derek has something to say," Beverly prompted. He cleared his throat, clearly uncomfortable. "I owe you an apology. Beverly showed me the project reports from the past 2 months. Your contributions have been significant. I let my personal feelings cloud my professional judgment." Jade studied him. The apology seemed genuine, if reluctant. "I appreciate that," she said carefully. Moving forward, Beverly continued, "Derek will be working with you on the new waterfront project. As equals. I expect professional collaboration from both of you." After Derek left, Beverly explained. "I've been documenting your work since day one. Roman asked me to, not because he doubted you, but because he knew this day might come. We have concrete proof of every contribution you've made, completely independent of your relationship." "He did that?" Jade felt tears prick her eyes. "He believes in you," Beverly said simply. "Now you need to keep believing in yourself." The waterfront project. Working with Derek proved surprisingly productive. Stripped of his antagonism, he was actually skilled and creative. They developed a mutual respect based on shared passion for good design. 3 weeks into the project, Derek even bought her coffee. "Look," he said, setting the cup on her desk. "I was jealous. You came in and immediately made an impact that took me years to achieve. That's not your fault. It's mine for feeling threatened." "I get it," Jade said. "This industry is competitive. Still, you handled everything with more grace than I did. So, peace offering?" He raised his own coffee cup. Jade clinked her cup against his. "Peace offering accepted." 6 months later. The waterfront project was nearing completion, and Jade had been promoted to junior architect. No one questioned it. Her portfolio spoke for itself. Roman had been careful to maintain appropriate boundaries at work, but their relationship had deepened outside the office. They spent weekends at his lake house, sketching designs and dreaming about future projects. One Saturday evening, as they sat on his dock watching the sunset, Roman turned to her seriously. "I want to ask you something." "Okay," Jade said, nervous at his tone. "The Hartford project. The mixed-use development downtown. I want you to lead it." Jade's mouth dropped open. "Lead it? Roman, that's a $40 million project. And you're ready for it. You've proven yourself 100 times over. This has nothing to do with us and everything to do with your talent. But people will still talk. Let them. You know your worth now. I know your worth. That's what matters." He took her hand. "Unless you're worried you can't handle dating the boss while leading a major project." Jade laughed. "I think I've proven I can handle anything." "That you have." He kissed her softly. "So what do you say? Want to build something amazing? With you? Always." The Hartford project launch. The Hartford project launch party was attended by city officials, potential tenants, and architecture critics from across the region. Jade stood at the presentation podium, her designs displayed on massive screens behind her. "When we started this project," she began, "we asked ourselves what this community needed. Not what would be impressive or award-winning, but what would genuinely serve the people who live here." She clicked through images of the proposed building, showing how retail spaces flowed into community areas, how green spaces provided gathering places, how affordable housing integrated seamlessly with market-rate units. "Architecture should be democratic," she continued. "Beautiful design shouldn't be reserved for those who can afford luxury. Everyone deserves spaces that inspire, that comfort, that connect." When she finished, the applause was thunderous. Camille Ross, who had been in attendance, approached afterward. "That was remarkable," Camille said warmly. "I owe you an apology for that article. The insinuation was unfair. You weren't wrong that people would question me, Jade replied diplomatically. No, but I should have focused solely on your work. Which is exceptional. Camille smiled. I'd like to do a follow-up piece. About the Hartford project and your design philosophy. Interested? Only if it's about the architecture, not my personal life. Deal. Roman's pride. Later that evening, at the after-party, Roman found Jade on a balcony overlooking the city. Hiding from your admirers, he teased. Just taking a moment. It's been a big day. He wrapped his arms around her from behind, and she leaned into him. I'm so proud of you. Not just for today, but for how you've handled everything. The gossip, the doubt, all of it. I had a good teacher, she said, turning in his arms. You showed me that integrity matters more than perception. That good work eventually speaks for itself. You taught me something too, Roman said softly. That love doesn't weaken professional relationships. It strengthens them. That vulnerability isn't weakness. That sometimes the messiest beginnings lead to the most beautiful outcomes. Jade laughed, remembering that terrible first day. Are you saying you're glad my zipper broke? I'm saying I'm glad you walked into that supply closet looking terrified and determined. I'm glad you challenged me to be better. I'm glad you refused to hide. He cupped her face tenderly. I'm glad you're exactly who you are. Even when I'm being stubborn. Especially then. They kissed as the city lights sparkled below them, two architects who had built something much more valuable than any building could be. They had built trust, respect, and love on a foundation of mutual admiration and shared dreams. 1 year later. The Hartford project won multiple design awards and became a model for urban development across the country. Jade was featured in Architectural Digest, her age no longer mentioned as a qualifier to her talent. She and Roman bought a house together, filling it with drafting tables and blueprint sketches. On lazy Sunday mornings, they worked side by side on personal projects, dreaming up designs that pushed boundaries. Derek had become a genuine friend, often joining them for Friday lunches where they debated design trends and shared industry gossip. Beverly attended their 1-year anniversary party, pulling Jade aside with a knowing smile. I knew from that first day, she said. When Roman came back from the supply closet and asked me to document all your work. He was already protecting you, already believing in you. I've never seen him like that with anyone. He changed my life, Jade said, watching Roman across the room as he laughed with colleagues. You changed each other, Beverly corrected. That's what the best partnerships do. The proposal. 6 months later, Roman took Jade back to the building where it all started. They rode the elevator to the 32nd floor after hours, the office empty and quiet. Why are we here? Jade asked, confused. Roman led her down the hallway to the supply closet, now converted into a small conference room after office renovations. This is where everything changed, he said. Where I met a brilliant, brave woman who taught me that the best things in life happen when you're not planning for them. He pulled a small box from his pocket and dropped to one knee. Jade Morrison, will you marry me? Will you keep challenging me, inspiring me, and designing a beautiful life with me? Through happy tears, Jade pulled him up and kissed him. Yes. Absolutely yes. The epilogue. Their wedding took place in a building they designed together, a community center that doubled as an event space. The ceremony was attended by colleagues, clients, friends, and family. Beverly served as officiant, her dry humor perfectly balancing the emotional moment. I now pronounce you husband and wife, she concluded. You may kiss the bride, though I suspect you've been doing that plenty already. The crowd laughed as Roman kissed Jade thoroughly, both of them grinning. As they walked back down the aisle together, Jade whispered, you know everyone's going to ask how we met. What should we tell them? Roman whispered back. The truth. That you noticed me on the worst day of my life, and it became the best day. Technically, I noticed you because your zipper broke. Romance at its finest. They laughed together, stepping out into sunlight streaming through the building's floor-to-ceiling windows. Behind them, the space they had created hummed with joy and possibility. Two architects who had learned that the strongest structures are built on foundations of trust, respect, and love. That the most innovative designs come from collaboration.